Overthinking feels like intelligence. It feels like you are being careful, responsible, and smart. But the truth is uncomfortable. Overthinking is not protecting you. It is slowly destroying your ability to make decisions. Think about this for a moment. How many times have you delayed a simple decision, not because you didn't know what to do, but because you were thinking too much? Choosing a career, starting a project, sending a message, taking an opportunity. You analyze every possible outcome, every risk, every what if. And in the end, you do nothing. This is where overthinking becomes dangerous. Your brain tells you that more thinking will lead to a better decision. But psychology shows the opposite. Once you have enough information, more thinking does not improve accuracy. It increases fear. This is called analysis paralysis. Your brain enters a loop. It keeps searching for certainty in an uncertain world. But certainty never comes. So the brain delays action to avoid discomfort. And this delay feels safe. It feels logical. But it is actually a fear response. Here's what most people don't realize. Overthinking is not a thinking problem. It is an emotional problem disguised as logic. When you overthink, your brain is not trying to solve the problem. It is trying to protect you from regret, embarrassment, and failure. Your mind creates worst-case scenarios to scare you into staying still. Staying still feels safer than risking a wrong decision. Imagine standing at a crossroads. One path is unfamiliar. The other is uncomfortable but known. Overthinking convinces you to stand there longer, instead of choosing. And while you stand still, life keeps moving. This is how opportunities quietly disappear. Psychologists explain this through loss aversion. The human brain hates losses more than it loves gains. Losing feels about twice as painful as winning feels good. So when faced with a decision, your brain focuses more on what you might lose than what you could gain. That's why intelligent people often struggle the most. Smart minds can imagine more possibilities, more risks, more negative outcomes. And the smarter the mind, the more convincing these imaginary dangers feel. Overthinking feeds on intelligence. But here's the brutal truth. Not choosing is still a choice. And it often leads to the worst outcome. Many people believe that bad decisions ruin lives. But psychology shows something more damaging. Indecision slowly erodes confidence. Every time you overthink and delay, your brain learns that you cannot trust yourself. Over time, even small decisions start to feel heavy. This is how confidence dies. Another hidden trap is perfectionism. Overthinkers often wait for the right moment or the perfect plan. But perfection is a moving target. The brain keeps raising the standard. Nothing ever feels ready enough. And so life becomes preparation instead of action. If you are still watching, this next part explains why overthinking feels impossible to stop. Your brain rewards overthinking. Yes, you heard that right. When you analyze, plan, and imagine scenarios, your brain releases small amounts of dopamine. It feels productive. It feels like progress. But it is fake progress. No real-world result is created, yet your brain feels busy. This is why overthinking becomes addictive. Action, on the other hand, feels risky. Action exposes you to real feedback, to mistakes, to judgment. So the brain prefers thinking over doing. But growth never happens in thought. It happens in action. The most successful decision-makers are not the smartest. They are the ones who decide faster and adjust later. They understand that clarity comes after action, not before it. Think about this. Every decision you admire in successful people looks confident from the outside. But inside, it started as uncertainty. They moved anyway. Overthinking tells you to wait until fear disappears. Reality says fear disappears after you move. So how do you break this pattern? First, limit your thinking time. Give yourself a decision deadline. Even small ones. When time is limited, the brain stops looping and starts prioritizing. Second, ask a better question. Not what is the best decision, but what decision moves me forward? Progress beats perfection every time. Third, accept that mistakes are part of clarity. No decision will give you 100% certainty. And that's not a flaw. That's how life works. Once you understand this, overthinking loses its power. Your brain will still warn you. It will still imagine risks. But you no longer confuse fear with wisdom. Because the most dangerous decision is not choosing wrong. It is never choosing at all. Once you see this, you can't unsee it.